everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T-Roy's here. What up, T?
Hi.
How are you, pal?
I've been better.
Yeah.
Not to start the show with all of our,
Ailments?
whinings.
Yeah.
I was going to go more whining.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We talk about
It's our weekly, the injury update.
Yeah, our daily lives as people want to know, I think. You know, we're feeding it to them anyways.
Yeah, right.
My back's a fucking train wreck. You're just an all-around train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like adding to the list, expounding my list of problems.
Yeah.
I managed to take a backflip off the stairs over the weekend, and I think I broke my big toe.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yes.
Blame the big toe?
The cool thing is you don't rely on the big toe very much to walk.
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Mine
much
is
everything.
bending to the left on my left foot.
Yep.
What is that called? A bunion or something?
sure.
I've seen it on people before. Mine just developed overnight.
Okay.
A couple years ago, and now it's like,
Now
it's
there's
affecting my walking. Yeah, okay,
perfect.
this is great. This is just fantastic. So, old men whining.
Yeah.
That's what this show should be called, is old men whining.
Saturday was obviously a good night because I didn't know anything about it until Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So you took a backflip off the fucking deck, not into the pool.
No, onto down the last couple of steps right there, flat to the back.
A little dark.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was trying to be a gentleman, turn around, shine the light for someone coming down the steps behind me as it was dark.
Yeah.
Missed the step myself and just ate shit. And to that person's defense, I swore them to secrecy, never said a word.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we ended up going to Chris Newberg's late show on Saturday. Had a good time. Lots of listeners there.
Yeah, it was a good crowd.
Which
good
is always
show.
fun. Yeah, good crowd. They start to get a little liquored up when you get into that 9:30 show.
Oh, yeah.
Where it sounds like the early show.
Guilty.
Kind of tight-assed.
Yeah.
Kind of groaning at some things, but it's like, you loosen them up with a little bit of beer, liquor, whatever. And we had a good crowd, and it was a lot of fun. And then mistakenly invited a handful of people back to the house for a late-night swim.
Yeah.
There was a towel at the bottom of the pool the next morning.
Guilty.
I believe T might have been nude at one point. People were going in underwear and bras. The hot tub was opened up. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But people are really respectful. The people that end up coming over are usually very, very respectful.
Absolutely. Everybody was wonderful.
Yeah. You usually wake up in the morning and it's like, I got to clean, whatever's gone on. And it wasn't too bad.
Guilty. I stayed up cleaning.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay, there was some stuff to clean. I
Yeah,
thought
a
it
little
was
bit.
remarkably unmessy.
No,
Thank you, T.
Yeah, I cleaned up a little bit for you.
Yeah. I just go dark at some point, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I just go to bed. It's the best part about it. I'll just grab Cece and go to bed.
Shut it down.
Shut her down, and and whatever happens.
Yeah.
So
That's like those people you know.
yeah,
You can trust.
and it was fun.
It was a very
fun.
good time.
Yeah, and I got my Pure Michigan shirt on.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did
Thank
good
you
with
to
that one.
The Chris Army. You can get those at. I
No, you can't.
No.
No, that was a limited run, I think. He just did them to bring to here to sell.
Oh no shit. Okay. Well, I feel even luckier for having it.
Indeed.
Yeah, having Michelle Dion in town is just special. I love that girl.
It brightens the whole day.
It does. It does. Your daughter was here for a little while. It was a good weekend. The
Yeah, it was
Lions
nice.
sucked, but
Whatever.
yeah,
Nobody played.
I know, but I feel like I've been duped. I feel like I was getting into it.
By the way, just not to chime in with the Lions stuff, but I watched the second I know Hard Knocks was last Tuesday. I wasn't here or whatever.
Yeah.
I just watched it today, and it's like, to me, the fucking thing he does with the pants or whatever.
Yeah.
What was that?
Stupid.
It was dumb.
What?
You know what? It got
It's
praised
like-
online though. People were like,
Why?
"Yeah, I'd run through a brick wall for that guy." I'm like,
I
really?
wouldn't, to be honest with you.
That one I was like,
I was like,
I'd run through the brick wall after he did because he'd knocked that thing down.
Right,
Like a
right.
monster.
No, if I'd been like, not really, but if I was in the room, and my honest opinion would be like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
it didn't make any sense because he's like, I didn't have any pants in my locker, so we had to get like Freddie's pants.
Yeah, those were Freddie the Pizza
Yeah,
Man's
yeah,
pants.
he said
That's what
that,
we're
and then
talking.
it said like,
But it was like, dude, you're at the facility. You've got an equipment room with 5,000 pairs of NFL pants. You're trying to make the point about getting the dirt off, getting
Right.
all that shit off. You couldn't grab a handful of fucking dirt and throw it in a pair of You know,
By the way, even then I still would have been. But
it would have made the point more instead of having like fucking pizza guy's pants and wave it out with flour.
Yeah.
It made no sense. It was just dumb. And it was
Not
like
a lot of dirt around the Alliance facility. I'm not going to lie.
No? I bet they could find some.
They'd have to go get.
Yeah, because they probably don't even play. They don't play on real
there's
grass,
nothing.
right, anymore. So
Is it all AstroTurf out there?
I don't think
whatever
it
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. For whatever it's worth. But I watched that. And that one, I was like,
I
what
wasn't
the
impressed.
fuck, dude? What are you? Get over it, dude. It is just football.
Yeah.
Tackle
Well,
ball.
Not when it's your life and your livelihood. It's not just football.
Yeah.
They're paying you millions of dollars for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to understand the mindset of the people that are playing it too, that get amped up by.
That's another thing, by the way.
You know.
That's another conclusion I came
And
to.
we're old now, E. We're old. We're not 22 that like fuck.
I get it.
He's now in the old crowd.
He is. Yeah, he's what, 38 now?
Right, 38.
Yeah.
I came to the conclusion. That's another thing I came to the conclusion of. Like when they had the dual practice, right? And it's like the coaches are sitting there and they are just in their own players' faces. You gotta be in this third ball. And yeah, but then they get to the scrum and it's like there's a line of like they want to push them to this edge. He's like, I don't want to see anyone fighting, but I want you there.
Yeah.
I want you there. And I started hearing these players yell at each other. And for the first time, I was like, dude, I understand for one, like the things that happen off the field, it's because you have dudes with high amount of testosterone to stop whatever.
Yeah,
Can't fucking say it. I don't
got
care.
it.
But anyway, and they're just getting amped up all the time. So what do you think's going to happen?
I know
when they
we've
go
talked
home?
about that before.
Yeah.
They got how do you, and honestly, the rates of like abuse and DUIs amongst NFL players is lower than the national average. Yeah, I know it gets the press because, like you said, they make millions of dollars. They're famous. They a lot of times represent a city or an organization, but their rates of crime are much lower than the national average.
And even sometimes they're victims.
I'm
Sometimes
sure.
they get shot.
Right.
Yeah, didn't someone get shot today or something or yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
God. Yeah, I think you got to change your hangout habits.
Well,
for a lot of these guys.
I'm not going to blame it. This sounded like it was a carjacking.
Oh yeah.
Or attempted carjacking, whatever. If I assume they shot him,
Was
they
this
got
a
the
wide
car.
receiver?
He's a running back, rookie, drafted this year.
Okay.
But I will say, you probably went and sent that. I mean, he wasn't a high draft pick. I forget where he was taken, but
Late rounds.
yeah, maybe this is, you shouldn't go buy that fucking $200,000 car.
Yeah.
And with your first game check and
Right.
with your
Maybe
signing
make the
bonus.
roster at least first. Like if you're a later draft pick, I don't know who he was. So
Well, either way, you become a target when you start putting the chains on. You start driving around those cars. You start, flashing your shit, or you can just go about your business.
And we're seeing the crime levels throughout many of these big cities.
This is DC, of course.
Yeah, TC. Yeah, there you go. Let's get that guy back on the street if you figure out who carjacked him. There was a guy walking through New York City. I saw a video of it today. And some dude on a motorcycle on the sidewalk with another guy walking next to the motorcycle. And there's another motorcycle behind him.
They're driving the motorcycle or he's walking?
Yeah,
it?
he's driving it on the sidewalk, but
Okay.
the guy's walking next to it. And there's another dude.
I thought you meant like a guy was walking next to it.
No.
Just getting put
No,
the picture.
it's a getaway vehicle at this point. So he just sees a guy wearing a Rolex, grabs his wrist. They get into a little scuffle, rips the Rolex off, hops on the back of the getaway dirt.
Yeah.
It's a dirt bike. The guy just fucking takes off. But that's going on everywhere. Yeah. You're seeing that these crime spikes are outrageous.
Such a great move at the motorcycle for the escape route.
Yeah. It's
Sneak through those skinny little tunnels that the cars can't get by,
right.
never to be seen again.
You don't even need that. A Honda Spree will do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Remember those?
Low speed
I love the
pursuit.
fucking,
But just go back just real quick to watching that. Like it really for the first time for me. Maybe I just don't. I know Hard Knocks has been out there. I haven't watched it. I have never been able to go to a practice. And hearing the mics and seeing these dudes, I'm like, dude, this is literally like, when people, prodding police dog, like they're amping these human beings up so fucking much.
You have to. That's the game.
I get it. But then, of course, when you go home, how could you, come down from that?
Well, you have to. But a lot of those guys have a lot more control than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Not all
so.
of them.
Maybe.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
But, a lot of them have been very, very disciplined to be, to know when to use that. You have to. Otherwise, you'd be a nightmare in the real world.
Sure.
And some of them are. Some of them snap and go off the deep end. There's no doubt about it.
You see that a lot with the troops too. Like coming
Yeah,
back
for sure,
coming
sure.
back from action.
Yeah.
And it's like, this sucks. This is boring. Like, what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
I can't kill people.
Can't
I
shoot
can't.
Right.
I'm like, this is bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
It just changes your mindset a little bit.
Some news broke over the weekend. Matt Arija, punter for the Buffalo Bills. Well, yeah.
Ex-punter.
Oh.
Yeah.
For the Buffalo
We've had
Bills.
our eye on this kid for a while.
Yeah,
You know?
T pointed him out first to me, and he was making the rounds on ESPN. He was known as the punt god, and just bombing punts. I mean, bombing punts.
Like
down in
80-yard
San Diego.
punts, man.
It was crazy. He had one punt in this preseason. It was 85 yards from like his 5-yard line into the end zone.
Yeah,
or something.
and that's
It was-
not even like, like a 60-yard punt with all kinds of
Yeah,
top
yeah.
spin that just goes, because those happen.
Yeah.
Those are anomalies. No, this dude sails it. This guy carries it that
Yeah.
fucking far.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
and on draft day, because we were watching him, thinking like, all right, this guy's got to get drafted. Plus, he's a kicker. We think we've talked about it. We might have even done it on
Yeah.
the show. But it's like, how high does this guy get drafted, right? Because players
Right.
generally don't get drafted very high, but
if at all.
and all that. And then on draft day, he was the third punter taken.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were like, how in the I mean, the other guys were fine, legitimate,
Yeah,
good punters.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like, how is this not?
Right.
Like this guy, if
And now it's like, oh,
That's
if,
why.
if there were two other punters better than him, it's like, why weren't they featured?
why don't they
all
call
the
them
time?
punt gods?
Yeah, why aren't they featured on ESPN every weekend like this dude was?
Yeah.
They were covering his games every week.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, dude, did you see what Arija did this week? And it was like, holy shit. So it's like, it never
A
made
little
sense
bit of
to
a rape
us.
can
Yeah.
Yeah.
can hurt your
Spoiler
draft
alert-y.
can ruin that draft status. I guess.
Yeah, and I want to know what happens now because we've long established the NFL. Sorry, ladies, you're gonna have to take one of the tits again. The NFL does not give a shit about
Could
you
not
at
care.
all. They couldn't give a fuck less about you.
Not exactly their fan base.
No, they're trying to grow their female fan base. That's all this is about. How do we continue to grow our fan base and let rapists on the field because they're awesome for ratings?
Because this guy can punt 80 yards.
Yeah, which we don't see very often. He could be a Hall of Fame punter, but ladies are gonna be pissed that he's raping 17-year-olds allegedly. And gang rape,
Allegedly. Let's keep that in mind.
ripping belly button piercings out and ear piercings. Like all her piercings were ripped out apparently.
All of them?
Yeah, I don't know how did. I mean, is that just like?
I don't know. Neither does she. She was asleep.
Yeah, for a lot. She was in and out of it.
Yeah.
But the reports of her saying I could see a light, so I felt like I was being filmed.
Mm-hmm.
I hope those guys weren't dumb enough to film this.
I'm sure somebody was.
And I guarantee you they'll get a hold of those phones.
Yeah.
And if there's these three dudes with a drunken underage girl,
Yep.
what is the penalty for that? It's not 15 yards. It's
No.
Like-
no, it's I think it's didn't we establish it's an 11-game suspension?
and a $5 million
I
fine.
think that's already been established.
Yeah, with precedent is set.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Deshaun was just pulling
Well,
his
that was
dick out.
24 counts too. This is just
20
one.
Yeah.
This is just one
This is
count.
the first one. It should be only be $1 million
One
fine.
little old raping.
Yeah. God, what a mess. It sounds like two teams were aware that he'd been involved in a sort of an incident in the lead up to the draft. That's according to the Associated Press, who say executives from two different NFL teams knew of something concerning the
The other
punter.
two teams that took punters, perhaps.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Who were the other two teams?
Yeah,
that
they were
drafted
actually
punters?
vetting punters out there.
But they didn't know the extent of the allegations. The Bills, however, knew nothing and signed Arija in the 6th round of the draft. They released him on Saturday after it emerged he's accused of gang rape on the 17-year-old alongside a couple teammates from San Diego State. The Bills did know Arija was the subject of a police investigation. However, when they released Matt Hack, the last punter they had, so why would you release Matt Hack if you knew there was an investigation? Wouldn't you ask a couple questions? Like, you know anything about what this could be about? We're not saying you're guilty of shit, Matt. Obviously, you're the
we'd
punt
like to
guy.
know, yeah.
But what are they saying you did?
I don't know. Well, you could probably go get them back off the street for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Pick them up now. Like,
Matt
So-
Hack, fuck you. My price just went up.
what is the because you're again sort of dealing with a he said she said, right?
Yes.
In a way, unless they film this like total morons, and college students are total morons, so
Right.
that's not impossible to think they could do.
Well, like I said, we're trying to figure this out because she apparently went to the cops the next day, did the rape kit and everything, but the police never filed any charges.
Right.
She had made a phone call that they recorded and monitored to him.
Yep.
Right? And then
He said, get checked for STDs.
yeah, he's like, yeah, we had sex. You might want to get checked for an STD.
She's calling you from the police department, and you'd say, yeah, I might want to get checked for STDs.
Yeah. And then, well, because it still could be consensual, and that's fine. Because she doesn't say, you raped me, or I don't know how the conversation went. Maybe they'll
She said,
release
did we
that.
have sex?
Yeah.
Did we
And then
have
probably
actual
was like,
sex or something?
did anybody else have sex with me or something?
Right.
Well, how's he end it? This is Matt Areza, and I don't remember anything from that night. Click.
For that night.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he got wise to the situation.
Wait a minute.
That's
Wait
how he ends the call.
I feel like I'm being set up here. They might be tracking this call. My name is Matt Areza, and I don't remember anything from that night. Bye.
But like I said, the police didn't file any charges. This is a civil.
There's talk, though, that like local school law enforcement dealing with the university possibly was like, we're having a really good season. This kid's the punt god. Can we just like shove this out of the way for now? Which would have been common 20 years ago.
True.
20 years
Very
ago,
true.
you could do a rape a week probably as a player, and it's like, if you're on Miami, if you're a Hurricane, whatever. I don't know. But the Buffalo Bills had no choice but to cut the young punter after so badly botching their response to our claim. This attorney Gillian, I don't know what his first name is, Dan Gillian. He's the girl's lawyer.
Okay.
He says they ignored us. When I warned them this would happen, what could happen could be avoided if they just kept their heads in the sand. That's a really shitty sentence they've written there. They ignored us when I warned them would happen could be avoided if they just kept their heads in the sand. This is what enablers do. They began distancing themselves from the punter on Friday. Didn't have him play in the game. On Saturday, he was not present at practice, even though they said he was still on the roster. Well, at the same time, his number 19 jersey was no longer available for sale in the online Bills
yanked that
store.
right down?
Oops.
Boy.
Yeah. His only comment since the lawsuit was filed, came in a statement released by his agent. The facts of the incident are not what they are portrayed in the lawsuit or in the press. I look forward to quickly setting the record straight. His lawyer, Kerry Armstrong, defended his client by writing, I am sure he's very upset and disappointed that his career with the Bills ended not because he played poorly, but because of false allegations leveled against him by a young lady and her attorney. I hope he's back in the NFL soon. Bills GM Brandon Bean said it was unclear. We just don't remember whether the victim's attorney or was it Arija who told us about this coming
not
out.
sure?
He can't remember. I mean, he's just a general
The details
manager.
are a little gray.
Yeah, who could remember? I mean, it happened almost days ago. How the hell could I be? I'm just running the organization.
I have a lot of other things, a lot of frying pans in the fire.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about Josh Allen? I mean, that's the real story here is Josh Allen on the Bills. But I was it Matt that told us? Was it the victim's attorney? Who knows? Who could remember? He said, Bean said the team's attorney had heard so they were like, they didn't respond. Dan Gillian, the girl's lawyer, is like, they didn't even respond. They just blew us off. And the Bills are like, we heard what he had to say. And that's when we began our process. We're not perfect, but I can tell you, we just tried to do what was right. In our heart of hearts, I can lay my head down at night knowing that I've tried to do what's right.
Of course.
So if he, in fact, if there's a criminal case filed, and that's yet to be known.
Yep.
So if this is just a civil, okay? If it's just a civil and he can just pay this girl off.
I don't understand how you can skip that process.
Yeah. I thought there were things set up to protect women from that they can't just.
Well, I mean, that if this is such a real thing that happened, why aren't there rape charges?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, if there's video, there's going to be.
Well, there's video.
If there's video.
And I guess it makes sense maybe if they did because it was but this was after the season, too. This is after, I think I remember.
October. So it would have been the start of the season. It was like October 16th. Was
okay. I had the dates wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe that happened. I don't know.
For the girl, though, okay, and I don't listen. This is just an honest discussion about the situation.
A lot of variables.
Someone dies, they're not coming back, right? This incident happened, whatever it was, buyer's remorse or rape. I'm leaning more towards rape personally, with the little information I have. Her her testimony is pretty damning. Her, whatever. That you can never change what happened that night.
Yeah.
So, for a 17-year-old girl, I know how I would respond to this question. Would you rather be paid off $5 million by this NFL player or see him go to jail for 4 years and get nothing?
You know,
I'd take the millions personally, but that's just me. I'm a guy of a different mindset. I get it.
I don't know that a real victim would feel that way.
Maybe not.
I think a real victim would care more about him being punished than getting rewarded for it.
Well, $5 million will buy you a lot of therapy to get over something. And
yeah, but you don't get any justice for him. He just gets to write a check. He gets to Deshaun Watson you and just move on.
Which is, unfortunately, a lot of times how this stuff goes.
Listen,
a lot of people are not above taking the payoff.
Depends on what you want out of this.
If
you want to win or you want him to lose, I suppose.
Yeah.
What's more important?
It's a good way to put it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know what you do because, and then the other question is, say he gets a 5-year sentence and it's reduced to 2.5 years.
Now, here's the irony, though, but you can't do both, right? So if he's found it, then you can't file civil, after.
No.
And get him if he gets charged criminally for it. There was a reason OJ did it because he got off on the criminal.
Yeah, the civil hit him for 33
Right,
mil.
but isn't that fucking ridiculous?
So why doesn't he still have to?
So if he's proven guilty of doing it,
right,
you can't get the money that he should give you. If he gets off on it, you can get money for it.
Yeah.
Or if you don't charge him, you can get the money for it, even though it's never proven that he actually did it. But if he is proven,
it's that fine line of if you're going to get boiling hot coffee dumped on you in the drive-through window. You want it to happen at McDonald's, not at fucking some local mom and pop restaurant.
Yep.
You know what I mean? McDonald's has deep pockets, and so that incident results in you getting paid. If this is going to go on, you don't want some homeless guy pinning it down on the bushes and raping you. You might want an NFL store to do it, though.
It's better. I mean, yeah.
You know
your
what
options
I mean?
are better. It sounds like you're getting an STD either way, so who knows?
Yeah. Hopefully it's crabs. No, I don't know. And I really honestly, I don't mean to be insensitive about it, but just from afar, looking at the reality of the situation that can never be changed. Yep. Whatever the reality is, it can never be changed. With that in mind, you might as well get fucking paid for it.
Yeah, I think that's is a crazy double standard.
It is, but if you're going to be touched as a kid, you better hope Michael Jackson did it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Instead of your fucking poor drunk uncle. You know what I mean? That you're getting nothing out of.
Yep.
Take the $30 million.
Just awkward Thanksgivings for life.
Yeah. The bloody butthole's a fucking reality, no matter whether it was your uncle or your fucking Michael Jackson. You might as well take $30 million on top of it.
Sure.
I thought, damn. Joe Rogan making some news over the weekend.
What did he do
can't
now?
Stop making news.
Yeah, well, everybody's hanging on every word he says.
God, it's incredible.
No matter which way he says, which one side's waiting to attack him.
Yeah.
It's kind of comical.
I just laugh. I don't attack him on anything. Let him have his opinions, man.
Why not?
It's great.
And I found him to be basically down the fucking middle on just about everything.
Yeah, so have I.
And even in things that he's not, he's completely open-minded about. He's educated on to some level.
Yeah.
He doesn't Larry King these things. He does his research before somebody comes on his show.
Yeah.
And has intelligent conversations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you actually listen to him, that's what you'll pick up for the most part.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you have to agree with him all the time. I certainly don't agree with him all the time.
Who do you agree with? Nobody agrees with everybody all the time.
I agree with you all the time.
That's not true.
No. No, but it's funny to me how he can just have, they're like, oh, man, fuck this guy, goddamn white supremacy at its finest. And they'll play a clip, and I'm like,
what? Where?
It just sounds rational, reasonable, well thought out.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's just fuck you.
That does explain a lot.
With your pure Michigan shirt on.
Yeah. It's not mine. I didn't make it. I'm just trying to support my boy, J. Chris Newman.
Well, but you're via proxy, you're whatever behind that shirt is, you're for it.
Really? I didn't know.
You can't just if you wore a Hitler Hail Hitler shirt down here and you said, well, my buddy's an artist, so I'm just
buddy's German. That was from the heritage. All proceeds go to the kidnapping.
What is this pure Michigan? I'm assuming as a comic he's making a joke about militias.
Exactly, that's what he calls. Yes.
So then I am not a white supremacist for wearing this, and I'm in
not for that shirt. For
Well, you
other
put a
athletes.
That's not the shirt's not why you're
You
white.
put a Hitler shirt on me that I don't even own.
Well, no, but your defense of a shirt was like, well, I'm just supporting my buddy. Wow,
I am. See
could-
that at the Chris Army. I'm
Yeah.
supporting my buddy.
But
That's all I'm
but if it was a racist shirt, it would be, it's not.
I
in
wouldn't
this
accept the
instance.
racist shirt, Isis, because
Okay.
I'm not a racist.
Okay.
How about that? Do you know anyone that's got a good Hitler shirt, though?
I don't know.
I used to. I
What
used
would
to-
a good Hitler shirt. You had a
I
Hitler
mean, like
shirt?
a uniform?
I know. What would a good
An
Hitler-
official
No,
signed jersey? What are you looking for?
I won't name names because this goes back, and please don't, because you'll probably figure out who it is. But goes back years ago, had multiple Hitler, like Hitler World Tour, Poland sold out, like shit like that with dates.
That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I know, but it wouldn't fly today.
You know what's funny? That is funny to me. I understand. Like I wouldn't. God, I guess I wouldn't wear it. But it is kind of funny, even though it's. I don't know, the idea of the world tour.
World Tour, yeah, all over Europe. It's got a map of Europe on the back with sold out dates and shit. It's bad. It's bad. You wouldn't want you know.
No.
But I've never owned one.
No, of course not. I've seen it.
Oh, there you go. Adolf Hitler. Can you still buy those?
I guess it's just on
I bet
Google
you-
Images. So.
World Tour 1930 to 1945.
What happened in
Or
1940? What happened?
I don't know.
Why would
Apparently, Russia ended the war. We had very little to do with it.
they stop selling out?
It just came in at the end for all the glory. That's it.
God damn.
right.
I tried to look up on Google just like generic like Hitler shirts. Like they're out there though.
But yeah. I guess
They
it's-
come
what
with
is it?
hoods.
Yeah, can you imagine ordering one? Jesus.
Yeah. You might want to send that one to a P.O. box.
Yeah, exactly. So the FBI finally weighed in on, I don't know if you heard, Mark Zuckerberg was the guest. And honestly, I'll be totally honest with you. I didn't think Joe Rogan did a good enough job with Mark Zuckerberg.
He definitely could have pushed harder.
He didn't push hardly at all.
Yeah.
And last time this happened, Tim Pool had to get involved.
Correct.
When you remember
Twitter,
exactly. When their lawyer and Jack were on Rogan's show, and it was like, you fucking nerfed. I was screaming at my radio when I was listening to this interview, like, dude, Rogan, don't let him just fucking act like that's normal.
Yeah.
Don't you? You could absolutely push back on this shit. You didn't even ask him about Zuckerbucks. You didn't even ask him a single question about spending $413 million under the guise of COVID protection protocols to fund these heavily Democratic contested areas and get out the vote. $413 million.
That's real money.
That's real money, and it swung it in every one of those places. Like, if that's not election tampering, I don't know what is. People like to say it all the time with gerrymandering or, mapping, whatever. But, like, you can't get more obvious than that. And if it wasn't wrong, why is he saying now he's not going to do it again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Zuckerberg basically said, yeah, someone contacted us from the FBI and said, there's a Russia disinformation dump likely coming. And so we were on the heads up for that. And they shut it down.
Yeah.
And it turned out, they were
They said, did you specifically, they warn you about the Hunter Biden story? No.
yeah.
Oh, so that's what you chose to
Right.
use that guy.
And then you took all the fucking liars by nature, the FBI, whatevers, the 150 people that signed that paper going, has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, which is total bullshit. If you looked at that story day one, you knew there was a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Ton of truth to that. And it turned out to be 100% correct. But is there any shame? Is there any punishment? Nope. None. So, that's troubling. That's troubling, and that's fascism at its finest, to be honest with you. When the government gets involved with a business like that, they don't have to say very much to make it known what they're feeling and what they want done. They were doing it from the podium, saying we expect more from these big tech companies, blah blah blah. And when you get 70,
obliged.
when you get a recent poll by Technometrica, Institute of Policy and Politics, says that 79% of Americans believe Trump would likely have won re-election if voters had known about the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop, and they knew that it was authentic. Zuckerberg told Rogan he couldn't remember. He just couldn't remember if the FBI alluded specifically to the laptop, which you were saying. But after the FBI released its statement, Meta tweeted, the FBI shared general warnings about foreign interference, nothing specific about Hunter Biden. His revelation, Zuckerberg's, came on the heels of Ron Johnson from Wisconsin disclosing that multiple whistleblowers from inside the FBI have told him they were barred from their superiors from investigating the laptop. The computer is believed to have been in the possession of the FBI since 2019. So when they come out and say, hey, we were just warning about potential misinformation or Russia disinformation, that is such bullshit. You had the laptop for a year. You knew it was real.
Yep.
You did. Legacy media backed down, and you made some bullshit thing about how this was possibly Russia disinformation, blah, 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 and all that. It's nonsense, and it's just sad. It's just sad to me.
Yeah, it's funny how they use that as a pawn. They used it against Trump for they had the PP video and shit like that. But now it was to burn them. It's like, well, which is it? Is it trying to help him? Is it trying to hurt him? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And none of it any of it's turned out to be real.
No. And it keeps going back and forth. But the problem is, if you truly view someone as Hitler, then anything is fair play. You know?
Yeah, that's where they're at. Exactly. By any means necessary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
The ends justify the means. It doesn't matter if we have to break the law or, tip the scales or whatever.
Zuckerfuck was so flippant in some of those answers
God,
on stuff.
dude.
It was unbelievable. I mean, not that he's not generally anyway, but as far as like, we weren't like Twitter. We handled it differently. We didn't take it on. You was still there. It was still shareable. He's like, we just forget the term he used for it, but narrowed the reach or something of what something like that. And he was like, well, by how much? He was like, oh, I don't know the number.
98%.
He said it was. He goes, I'm not sure. It was meaningful. Was his term? It was meaningful.
It was meaningful.
Like, so they still snuck a few around us.
Yeah.
But we killed good 99% of it.
Yes.
We tried to.
What he was saying without saying it.
Exactly.
If you read between the lines there.
It tried to say it was like nothing. He was like, well, we just, things like that. You could still
lowered the
share
reach.
it. We lowered the reach. But it was meaningful.
It was meaningful. Yeah. And Rogan also made news by having Alex Berenson on, who's famously suspended forever from Twitter. Banned by Twitter because he was the guy, I don't know if you know Alex.
Not personally.
He was a New York Times reporter, and he took on the pandemic early on and started doing all the research he could, interviewing who he could, looking at the data coming from Europe and around the world and here, and was blowing the whistle hard. And so he kept getting tagged with the misinformation. Blah, blah. Meanwhile, everything he said's turned out to be true.
Yeah.
He's written a book about it. He sued Twitter.
Oh, good.
And got back on Twitter.
Oh, I hope he got a lot more than that.
Well, people are pissed. He said, he was telling Rogan, I was listening to it earlier.
There better be some damages involved in that.
Well, what people wanted was discovery.
Yeah.
They wanted to go to trial, and it's like, oh, you got back on Twitter, asshole. Good for you. But we didn't get discovery, so we could see what the internal memos going on, what the government was telling Twitter about Alex Berenson. He's suing the White House now.
Okay.
He says the White House went after Twitter to get this dude specifically banned.
All right.
Which is collusion. You
need to have that
fascism for everybody who likes to throw fascism around. There you go. That's it on full display. So he was talking to Rogan, and Rogan said, I thought it was an interesting quote. He said, this pandemic, I hope there are lessons learned in this because this is a new thing. We had never had this before. No one who is alive today has ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it. When he was talking to Aaron Rodgers at this point. I'm sorry, I'm getting my things confused. Everything I said about Alex Berenson stands.
Yeah.
But this article that I'm reading from is the newest episode he dropped, I guess, with Aaron Rodgers. I haven't seen it yet. So Rodgers asked Rogan what he would tell people who have lost their livelihoods due to the government forcing mandates. Rogan said, and he's vote Republican. And Aaron Rodgers starts laughing. Rogan is stone-faced. It's like, no.
It wasn't a joke.
No, wasn't a joke. You want to fucking fix this?
Yeah.
And so people are going off the deep end on Twitter. Oh, you should just go to Twitter, look at Joe Rogan and see what they're all saying now because it's hilarious. He's Trump now.
Of course.
He's Hitler now.
Yeah. Just add him on the list.
Yep. he said Americans are already switching their voter registration status. Data analyzed by the Associated Press says more than 1 million voters across 43 states have shifted towards the Republican Party. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You know, I don't know. It's going to be
the midterms will be very telling. I think I think this Roe v. Wade thing was a real kick in the balls. I think that's going to. I think that's going to definitely affect. If anything, just sort of slow that tide. And some of these real staunch Republicans that are out there that are just absolutely pro-life, no exceptions.
Yeah,
I think they're going to get some pushback.
Yeah. As they should. Tudor Dixon, that commercial they're running on her right now is very effective. I don't know if you've seen it.
I mean, I've seen some clips. I haven't seen the actual ad, but I know where she falls on that.
Yeah.
And that's not. I don't think that's going to go well.
They're asking her point blank, like, where do you land on this? And she's like, I'm pro-life. And they're like, in all instances, she's like, I'm pro-life in all instances, like rape and incest. Yes, I'm pro-life in all instances. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
It just sounds so fucking bad. It's, I don't have a dog in the fight. I wish, abortion was safe, legal, and rare. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I'll credit Joe Biden for saying that 30 years ago or
You
whatever.
got a niece now.
Huh?
You got a niece.
Yeah. Yeah.
You still got a dog in the fight.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I care about all the women in my life.
Yeah.
And
she's in California. She's in the cradle out there.
Don't worry, she'll be a boy by this time next year, so I won't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's a tough one. But I think you're totally right that it was going to be such an onslaught, ass whooping in November that this thing put brakes on that for sure.
Put a fucking stick right through the spokes.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Going over the handlebars now. It's interesting. Bill Maher clashed with Meathead over the weekend. Rob Reiner.
Yeah. I happened to catch that. I was watching that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought that
Meathead is such an asshole. I'm sorry. Rob Reiner is in such a fucking bubble.
It's funny. It cracks me up when I pointed this out to you when we were watching it, is that it just cracks me up how people can be asked a very specific question about a very specific thing.
Yeah.
And
yes,
answer in the most non-related way possible to try and get, just to get a roar out of the crowd, Well, what do you think about this? Yeah, well, fuck Trump, right? Am I right? Fuck Trump, everybody. Yeah.
Right.
It's like, okay, but that's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
So, to your point, T, what you're talking about, because I've got the quotes here.
Oh, good. Okay.
So, Bill Maher starts out, let's not pussyfoot around this. He was selling the influence of his father, Joe Biden. Most political sons do, but let's not pretend at least that wasn't going on. Laptop was buried by the press. He noted that influential leftist author Sam Harris has outrageous comments on this. Like, I don't care if they found dead babies in his laptop. I couldn't give a shit less. It should have still been buried. Like, the ends justify the means. Take out Trump. He says it was appropriate for Twitter, Sam Harris, and the heads of big tech and the heads of journalistic organizations to feel that they were in the presence of something that is once-in-a-lifetime moral emergency, meaning Trump.
Once-in-a-lifetime moral emergency.
So all bets are off.
Is where we were at in this country at that moment.
Yes. So he's saying it's okay to have a conspiracy to get rid of somebody as bad as Trump. This flummoxed Reiner tries to change the subject. You know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
What does that have to do with...
Exactly.
Great question.
I was like, you clown.
Yeah. Answer the question.
And he was there? So this isn't like a monologue. This is
in person. They're sitting at a desk.
I kind of want to watch
across.
this.
It was actually pretty
You
good.
can watch. Do you have HBO?
Yeah.
And,
Plus, you can. So much of his shit is on social media.
true.
And it's Klobuchar is up on there too.
Yeah.
Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar.
Okay.
Did I say that wrong? Sorry.
I'll check it out.
Klobuchar.
Maher says, answer this question. The question is, was it appropriate to bury the laptop story? And we know for a fact that that's what they did. Reiner shot back, of course. You don't follow this? I don't know what they did. And Maher says, I know.
I don't remember that being the quote. I thought he was like, do we know that for a fact? Who said they did? Or something along those lines. Like
I don't know what they did. And Maher said, I know you don't because you only watch MSNBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that dude is...
It's like he said, that we know they do. He goes, do we know that? How do we know that? He's
Yeah.
like, because they fucking admitted it.
Yeah.
He's like, who did? When? I don't know that.
Yeah, well, I have no
would
idea
you-
what you're talking about. What? How do you have no idea what people are talking about with that?
About how long is it? Would you say it's like a 10-minute segment, something like that? Like, is it?
Yeah, even
Yeah.
that's a blip. That's a 5-minute,
Okay.
if that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the monologue,
Definitely
early
gonna
into the
watch
show,
this.
somewhere in there.
Probably
It's
watch
worth
it
it.
tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just that it was to my point of how ridiculous you look when somebody can ask you an actual question about something,
Yeah.
and you can't answer the question. You just have to circle around with "fuck Trump." That's
And you know
it.
what the
That's
best
the answer.
You know what the best part about Trump is? No matter what question you asked him, he gave you an answer.
Oh yeah.
He didn't go, yeah, well, you know what? It was unjustified. It was January 6th. Like, he wouldn't do that. He'd answer your question. You might not like the answer.
No.
But he answered them all. He just
He didn't
did.
circle back.
No. And Rob Reiner is one of those, like, he's as off the deep end as, who's the old ESPN asshole?
Oh, I can't even think of his name. That's so
total
good. I
shit
blacked him
lib.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Keith Olbermann.
Oberman. Yeah. There you go.
Keith Olbermann, the Chinaman from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Sulu, or
Yeah.
was it Sulu? Was that his
Sulu,
character
yeah.
name?
Yeah.
That dude is.
But if you're gonna be
these are
this-
people so off the deep end that are so insulated in their bubble, they have no idea what real Americans live like or think like.
If you're going to be this loud and out in front of it, then you better
have basics
have
down.
basics down. You better be able to defend your point.
Well,
Yeah,
right.
or,
Why,
you know,
just to say, oh, who said it was fake? Who said they buried it? I mean, even if you came out and said, yeah, I do believe it. I personally feel like that he was bad. Trump was bad enough. I don't love it, but I think that it needed to happen. I mean, we would all disagree in this room with that, but
At least
that'd be better
respect
than
it.
this bullshit of just like, how do we know that? What do we know?
Yeah. Can you imagine if it went the other way? Like, you were like, just think about. You can't even, because you would never get the play in by the federal government, and the legacy media would never buy in. But if you tried to take down Joe Biden by hiding stories about his competition with the help of all these players, it's just really peeled back the onion on what kind of shit we're really dealing with, and it's terrifying on so many levels.
it is. It's
so
not
many
getting any
levels.
better.
No, it's only going to get worse. Which
What did
is
Rogan
why,
say?
What did Rogan say?
Yeah. How did we fix it?
Vote Republican.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And he didn't find it funny at all when
I
he
know.
said it.
I realize it's not.
I don't even think that, by the way, that's not the answer to me, really. But
No,
Yeah, I know what you mean. The
really
Republicans are
not.
just as bad, but
Yeah. I mean,
they're both bad on different
I'm
levels.
not trying to
but-
say I think they're mostly sometimes the better of the other evil,
Yeah.
but in reality, there's another answer to it, and it's not that either.
It's the it's the insanity that I can tolerate.
Yes.
More so.
exactly.
Because they're just dude.
That not just
anyone
the
that thinks
fucking
those
circus.
those guys up in Congress, like they're fucking.
No, they're pieces of shit
No.
across the
Some
board.
of them
as
have
well.
less, but
Yeah, and they better come up with a plan. It can't just be like, oh, Biden's got dementia. We all know that. We all know Biden's not running shit.
Yeah.
So you better have a plan. Just like last time around, the plan was, we're not Trump. That was all they could
That
offer.
was-
Well,
exactly.
we're not Trump.
Yep. They had COVID, thankfully.
Yeah, COVID saved
Was
them.
one thing that came through, and then
100%.
And then at least we're not Trump. That's
We're not
it.
and
Trump.
by the you're not to.
And this time you can't just be, we're not dementia Biden. Don't do that. Have some real policy plans.
Of course.
not to pat myself or actually even you guys on the back here, but dude, again, when you have your Rob Reiners and say that shit, they really legit think that like the Democrats, that is the God. Like that's the answer. Just keep voting Democrat. Whereas I'm sitting here or you're sitting here saying like, I'm like, yeah, I think that I would rather have that, but it's not the answer.
No.
And that's not what they say.
No, because
they
if you know the full story, this is really about elite class versus normal people.
It absolutely is.
And when you really look into it, it's probably closer to 90% of the country feels a lot like we do on a lot of these things. They're torn on things. They lean Democrat on some stuff.
Yeah.
They lean liberal on some stuff. They lean more conservative on some stuff. That's very common. And so what's not common is all the screaming talking heads and all the social media telling you you're nuts for believing
Exactly.
that. And it's like, no. When I get in a room with my lefty friends, we get along awesome. I know you do, T.
Yeah.
I don't.
Especially when you call them their lefty friends. They love that.
Yeah, but I don't consider us to be like Republicans.
No.
I know people would say that. I don't consider myself conservative on very many things.
No, I am nowhere near a straight ticket voter.
No.
by
I'm
any
getting
stretch.
close.
It's getting closer.
I'm getting close, though,
It is
dude.
definitely getting
I
closer.
got to be honest with you.
Well,
it's getting hard.
Yeah, it is getting harder by
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, everybody. The excitement continues at Zott Ford as more 2023 Ford vehicles become available for custom ordering. As of today, you can custom order your 23 Ford F-150, Ranger, Expedition, Explorer, Edge, and more. And over the next few weeks, Super Duty, Maverick, and Mach-E's will also become available. Plus, when you order from our friends at Zott Ford, you're going to lock in not $500, but $1,000 in rebates plus 2.9% financing. As always, the best way to support the podcast is to support our sponsors. So give Gabar and the team at Zott Ford a shot and let them handle all your automotive needs. You can still get $500 off free accessories. And if you take delivery by the end of the month. You can find details in their growing inventory at dealsonthed.com. Tell them TDC sent you.
God, Anthony Ketchum over there sent me a text the other day. They've got a guy in there that's a rapper.
Okay. Like
rapping.
works there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the phone jack here? I could probably play a second of it.
Is
for you.
he like an employee that raps, or is
He's
he a
rapping
rapper
about-
employee? Is he employed because of his
I
rap
don't.
skills?
I think he works
or is
there.
like in between like porting cars, he raps?
I'm sending you this first. It's the Zott rap, and my boy Jacob is legit.
Oh,
Is it over there somewhere? Looking for it. Did we lose? Oh, it's down here.
there we go.
Yeah. Right here, second.
You, want,
Oh, so this is okay.
you need it pulled up here? Oh,
No, I got it.
Exciting.
Right.
I can't wait to be critical.
Well, it's like hardcore rap artists rapping
Yeah.
about a company.
Okay.
You know,
Hey, it's got legs. Let's see.
it's gonna take. It better be damn good because
You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it.
most people don't like it.
What comes after or what came before?
The deals keep flowing,
You just gotta bend your knees
the Zots keep growing. The dealers don't compare and they say, wait, Jay, I know what you about to say. You got no cars on the lot, how you even getting paid? And I'm like, wait, custom order for you today. When the new whip hits the ground, it's exactly what you made. And they say, hey, what if my new car comes too late? I'd say buy a Subaru if that's a risk you wanna take. And they say, wait, I only rap American made. Stick with deals in the D's.
Yeah, American made.
Americans getting paid, cause that's the way. Hey, that's the way it's gonna stay. Okay, but I need my new whip today. Hey, how many months now? That's too late.
What do you think?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a funky beat, and I could bug out to it.
I can send it to you.
Nope.
You want to rock
I'm
out
okay.
your car?
No.
It's got what you need, 3-row SUV ST. Hey, that's the way I gotta say.
I do like the beat. By the
Yeah.
way.
Dealing with me.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
beat to the song.
Yeah.
And if he made that,
And he's good.
That's even better. But
You speed it up?
Like Michael Myers on parts, got it way down, felt tired, so tired, so wired. Hey.
Not bad.
All right. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I like the ingenuity.
Yeah. I thought you guys might dig that.
Going for that urban market.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to sell it though. It's hard to rap for like
Well,
McDonald's.
Yeah,
and
they
make it
advertise in a
cool,
lot of
you know?
different markets. They got to have something for everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All
Over
right.
here, it's like, go to Zott Ford, get your free gun rack in the back of your F-150.
You got to change the messaging up a little bit
Yeah,
for the inner city.
exactly.
All right. We see what Jacob's doing.
It's funny.
He's
I
got some
remember-
talent.
I've heard that with some like tax relief company, something like that.
Oh.
You hear that?
Was it the bank?
No, I don't know. It was some company that was like advertising, and depending on what station you listened to, if it was on like 94.7, it was like, well, I haven't paid my taxes in 9 years, and they're gonna da.
Yeah.
And then it was on like JLB, and was like, I ain't paid my fucking taxes for 9 years. Hey, you day after your shit, yeah, come in.
Shit.
It was like the same. It was two totally different commercials.
You've been
for the
blowing
two-
off your motherfucking taxes for a decade like my ass. You need to get a hold of so-and-so and shit.
It's exactly what it was. I was like, that's fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
It was just two different commercials for two different genres.
I think we've come up with a brilliant idea too with GPS. Should come up when the lady's talking to you, you can change the language or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
And it's like there should be an urban one. How dope would that be? Like,
Yo, Nick, turn right here,
I
shit.
said fucking turn.
Fucking, you missing your turn, motherfucker. Turn. You go see Jimmy on the corner. He's sitting next to some used tires and shit and a car on fucking blocks. When you get to him, turn right and shit.
As soon as
It'd
you
be great.
turn on, all right, here's what you got to do. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go. They really do be like that, though.
Speaking of the blacks,
Oh,
I didn't know how else to segue.
go.
Yeah.
Ah,
No, he's
I turned, it wasn't there.
You can turn this around.
It's too late now.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's okay. It's never too late for the Go Blacks, though. A black Louisville cop was fired after he filmed a parody recruitment video telling people they can kill for free while mocking Breonna Taylor's death. Turhan Knight, a corrections officer since 2018, was terminated Thursday after city officials learned of the video in which he mocked the death of the 26-year-old. She was killed while she slept March 13th, 2020, when police conducted a no-knock raid. Isn't that still up for debate? I thought they said it wasn't technically a no-knock raid. I don't know.
It depends on who you listen to. I think.
This is a weird one because they burst into the apartment, shooting off 32 shots, 6 of which struck Taylor and killed her while she was sleeping. Horrible story. They were after her shitbag boyfriend,
Yeah.
who was a menace drug dealer in the area. He starts firing at the cops.
Right.
They immediately return fire.
Yeah.
She gets caught in
She
the
gets
crossfire.
caught, catches a stray bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 6.
What? And she was still sleeping?
Yeah.
Quite a sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah. Or she was probably just in bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But in defense of her boyfriend,
You might want to get under it.
if it was a no-knock and they just kicked the door in, I'd grab the first fucking gun I could get a hold of and
Absolutely
start
right.
firing at the door too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If they don't announce who they are. So there's
Even on
dispute
no-knocks,
about
they
that.
announce who they are.
Do they?
Yes. Listen, a no-knock, I mean, most fucking rate are no-knocks, right?
They
like
just
come in-
bash through
Yeah,
the
if they
front
come
door?
with a warrant, they're like, hey, please
Yeah.
let us in. We have a warrant. But not if they're like after you, right? You see where they just fucking breach the door and come in, but it's not like they don't say a word.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what is the point then? To a no-knock is they don't want you to jump out the back
They
window
don't want you
and
to
run.
either have time to go get a gun. They
Yeah.
don't want you to fucking be able to flush your shit, all that kind of stuff. If it's a time-sensitive thing,
Yeah.
active drug house, things like that, or somebody's in danger, whatever the criteria might be.
Right,
But
right.
They don't want to, and they don't want to give you any time to react in whatever way that is. They want the element of surprise.
Yeah.
So they come in, but even with that, it's it's the difference between like, hey, could you come to the door, please?
Yeah.
Let us in. We have a warrant. That's if they're looking for somebody for something stupid shit or trying to track somebody
Right,
down
right.
or whatever. But if they have reason to believe, now, I don't know how legitimate the warrant was, or all that stuff. If it was worth it or not, I don't know. But they, but you're gonna expect to get. That's the whole point of it, though, is to hopefully them not have a chance to get the gun and
Right.
start shooting when they know the cops are standing at their door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shitty situation all the way around. It sounds like Breonna, if I remember correctly, I get so many of these get tied up in
All these dead black people. It's hard to keep
right.
track.
It's hard to keep track of them all. I mean, every day.
Yeah.
Cops are just murdering black people every day. There's a politician that said that recently,
Yep.
and yeah, it's bullshit. But
No
whatever.
pushback to that.
No. Democratic Mayor Greg Fisher called the video hideous in the aftermath. Should we watch the hideous video?
Oh yeah.
This cop is making fun of
Oh the.
Breonna Taylor's
Yeah.
death.
Hello, my name is Officer Terrell. I'm an officer with Louisville Metro, and I'd like to talk to you today about coming and joining our team and answering the call.
Speak up.
Brother, we need you. We're going through so many ups and
you're
downs
fine.
in the city, trying to repair broken relationships, and brother, we need you.
Yeah, fucking
And that's what we
helicopter
put
and
on all of our trucks. We need backup. Answer the call. Be a part of a great, great police department. Never mind what happened to Breonna Taylor. We killed that.
We killed that bitch.
You want to drive vehicles like this?